Hi, I'm Kim Wilson,
And I'm Natasha Marchewka.
and this is Speechless.
Speechless. Speechless.
Welcome to our behind the scenes take on real life in VO, where we share our stories and our resources and our unsolicited opinions.
Yay. Hi.
Hi.
I guess we did give our opinions for this interview you're about to see. We just finished and packaged it up. Aya Maruyama is on my management team, Celia Siegel Management, and is a masterful negotiator and has so many tips that I'm pretty sure she needs to be on our show as a regular guest, Kim.
She has empowered us to take the reins and set our rates and go for it. You don't want to miss this one. This is a good one.
Quite often we like to do our intro after the interview so we can be extra excited. So watch this. This is pretty amazing. Yay. Well, one of the best people on today. My part of my management team, I'm with Celia Siegel Management, and Aya Maruyama is a part of that management team. Aya, want to say, can I send you to my manager, even though you're not technically my manager, but you're on the management team? Aya is a master of negotiation, and I am the absolute opposite of that. So we make a good partnership, her and I, in terms of our relationship. And certainly there's lots of people on the roster, but I make use of Aya's skill, but also passion for negotiating. Aya, before we go into everything, let's share what we're drinking today.
Okay.
Just for funsies, that's what we like to do. What did you bring to drink today, Aya?
I brought some tart cherry juice. Big fan of it. Yeah, it's really good. High-end antioxidants.
Okay.
It's got other good nutrients. It's supposedly really good for like muscle strength and soreness and helping with inflammation. It's got natural melatonin in it, so it helps you sleep better.
I'm going to buy that.
It's good for your immune system. It's good for your brain health.
Is there any gin in there?
No. So
a London Fog is actually a tea latte, except it doesn't, I don't have sugar in mine. So it's Earl Grey tea with a little tiny few drops of vanilla, real vanilla, no sugar, and warmed frothed milk.
Frothed. Delicious.
Frothed. I have something better than both of you. This is I was looking up recipes because fans, and I wanted a sangria, but I didn't have time to make sangria the right way. So what I did is I had Riesling, which somebody gave to me as a gift. Lovely. I don't drink it at all, but I could use it in a sangria.
Right, makes sense.
With
frozen fruit. So
that's why it looks like a smoothie. A smoothie with Riesling, which is the worst tasting wine ever. Okay.
But when you mix it with this, it works.
Right, makes sense. Your face doesn't tell the tale
of sweet.
Aya holds the secrets of the universe in regards to negotiating with clients. So I'm going to ask the first big question that we've laid out in preparation for this day with you. How do you balance the need to secure fair compensation for voice talent with the need to maintain positive relationships with clients and production companies? It's a big one, but we thought it was very clever.
And it's also one that we all go through, right? We all have to do this. So how do you do it, Aya? Tell us the secrets.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing it comes down to is education. I find that more often than not, like voice buyers don't want to screw over voiceover talent 9 times out of 10. I think
that's good.
I find that most often when it's hard to like find that perfect match, it's because that there's a lack of understanding on their part of how voiceover works. It's a lack of knowledge of industry standard rates or why voiceover rates are calculated one way for long form narration and audiobooks and a completely different way for commercials. Why isn't it all just a word price per count, cents per count or cents per minute or whatever? So yeah, I find that most often it comes down to educating them and having them understand that this is your livelihood and there are standards when it comes to it. And I find that it's pretty easy to balance that positive relationship when you are coming at it from a sense of like, here, let me kind of educate you on why we're setting rates this way. And then from there, let's meet in the middle, find a way to negotiate, So I always start with the education piece if that's not already a part of their core values as a buyer.
Right.
Starting with like, I'm a voice talent manager and, on Natasha's behalf, here are the standard rates based on what you guys are asking for. And I mean, honestly, most times I don't get very much pushback. I use the GVA rate guide, SAG rates to kind of be like, here's the industry standard.
That's
negotiation.
Helpful to know. That's helpful to know that you use those rates as your rate cards.
Totally. So I always start at the very high end. And so often it's easy to get those rates. They're like, oh, okay, well, if that's what it costs, let me run it past my people and we'll get those run through. Like, Natasha, maybe I can just put you on the spot because we just did this. She brought me one of her clients and they were coming back around for a second time for renewal. They're like, hey, we want to extend the organic usage of this. Okay, great. What's your rate? $1,000 per video. Okay. And it was that easy, and sometimes it is. I do find often that because you talent are so close to your money, it can be harder to be like, oh yeah, I'm totally worth $1,000 for a renewal. Like that can be hard to like put into perspective at times. So that's where I feel like managers come in really handy is like, or agents, who negotiate these rates for you in good faith. It kind of takes the like personal pressures out of it. But yeah, I really do love it. Yeah.
So in terms of the question and maintaining a positive sort of relationship and atmosphere, what do you think the percentage of the people that don't they don't come back after you said, well, this is what the standard rate is, and you make it high as you can within the standards market rates? Do some people just not answer you again? Because as a talent, that's my biggest fear. You tell them their rate, you won't hear from them. You tell them a decent market rate, you won't hear from them. And so I'm, again, thrilled that I can bring them to you so you can educate them. What's that turnaround like in terms of coming back to you?
I don't think I've ever had somebody not respond or walk away. I really don't think so.
Wow.
And I think part of it is language, if you're going to write down notes, this is probably something you want to write down. Right. It's typically, here are my standard rates for XYZ. So for 6 month digital of this in regionally, my rate is this. However, I'm happy to be flexible within reason if needed. Let me know what your budget looks like. So I always leave that window for them to come back. And they always do. They'll either be like, oh, great, thanks so much. I'm going to pass this on to my so-and-so people, the client, their producer, head producer, whoever, to get approval. Or they'll be like, is there any wiggle room? We had X number of dollars budgeted, but we definitely don't want to offend Natasha by not paying her industry standard rates. Where can we meet in the middle of this? And that's where the magic happens. It's leaving that little door open so that they can then, so you're going in with the industry standard rates, right?
Yeah.
And then they can be like, respond with, yes, that's great. Or this was a little outside of it. Let's see what we can do. And then the great thing about voiceover is you guys have so many different tools to negotiate with. So if their budget is set and they've already gone through the process of picking you, whether through a casting site, through your agencies, production houses, whatever, you've already passed whatever checks if they're coming to you and asking you for a rate, right? So the great news for you guys is that you have so many different tools to work out a good rate. And I think that's what a lot of people forget, especially with commercial work, broadcast work, all that stuff. You've got your medium. What medium is it on? Is it broadcast TV? Is it streaming radio? Is it paid social? Is it organic social? Is it promo? What is it? You know, what's the network TV? I mean, not promo. What's the medium? And then the market, you know, is it local? Is it one city? Is it a whole state? Is it a whole region? Is it national? And then runtime. Is it 13 weeks? Is it 6 months? Is it a year? Like, how long are you wanting it? And so often, if the budget is set, we can usually still get a deal done by adjusting the usage. It's like, okay, if this is the number of dollars you have, great, let's work with that. For that many dollars, I can give you X, Y, and Z. Maybe you're not national, but I can give you regional. Maybe not a year, but I can give you 6 months.
Yeah.
And then so often that, like, those are the tools that I use to get a yes.
Right.
Because if you're already being asked for a rate, you're already halfway there.
Yes.
And then it's figuring out the money based on the usage, but you can always use the usage as a bargaining tool, as your negotiation tool.
I love that you put it in their court and you don't take away from the actual talent's overall budget, but you take the talent's pool of money, but you make it less time for them, less time instead of, 17, whatever. I
found that really helpful on Voice 123 because they'll put out a number and you think they want it forever. And you think, well, no, I can do it for that amount for 3 months.
This is
or
gold
6
right here.
Yeah. Because quite often they say, oh yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. And they probably go, we're actually not going to use it forever.
Right.
We are only going to use it for X amount of time.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. Are there any other important factors that you consider when you negotiate rates for us?
Yeah. I mean, usage for sure, conflict categories, if they want hospitals for a year, like that's going to come in, and then they want exclusivity on top of it, that's going to change the rate a lot more than, no conflict or no exclusivity. So, you want to keep in mind conflict categories, and is the rate that you're getting enough so that if another job in that category comes around that you feel comfortable turning it down, so conflicts is a big thing I use. Usage for sure, those medium market runtime. Other factors, I mean, to an extent, I always include or try to include my talent in the negotiation. Like, hey, Natasha, they came back with it. If they're not getting the top dollar and we have to wiggle a little bit, I always keep the line of communication open with the talent, and they can be like, this is a really tough month for me. I had to take my dog to the vet and this happened and this happened. And like, I could really use it. Like, if there's anything we can do to make it like even partially okay, like I'm in, or, oh no, like I can sit tight and wait for the next door to open. Another part of negotiation is like, if it's below what you're worth, you have to kind of be willing to walk away.
Absolutely.
And I think that's also another part that people forget. Like, they get in this negotiation and it's not going well. And then so often they cave and they're like, okay, fine, I'll do it. Even though it like is well below their worth and stuff. So I do think part of negotiation is like knowing what your bottom line is, knowing what your core values are, what it is, like what you need out of a job in order for it to feel good for yourself.
Amazing. I see the need for a manager or an agent. Come on.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow. Know when to walk away. Know your worth. It's okay to say no. And I think it's to think about the job. Is that one job going to make or break you?
Right.
It may sound really yummy, but it's not going to make or break you.
It's not going to make or break you. Absolutely. Okay. One more question for our dear Aya, and then we're going to have her come back. So how do you stay up to date with the latest trends and developments in the voiceover industry? And then how do you use this knowledge to negotiate the rates effectively?
Yeah. So I feel like I'm always learning.
Right.
I mean, in addition to all of the usual things, like I've been going to a lot of conferences and doing a lot of like attending different webinars. But yeah, I mean, I think one thing people don't think about is like in college, I took rate negotiation classes.
What?
Like that's it was a really core part of my education.
What?
And I actually went to school for public relations and music business. I was wanting to be an agent in the music industry before the pandemic hit and everything changed. But like people don't think about alternative ways to like increase your business and your skill set. And I think that's one that I think voice actors would really benefit from, taking rate negotiation classes, knowing the tools, like how to negotiate, how to enter into negotiation, what are the different tools to use to get the best results, what the language is, how to balance emotions, all of that. So if you haven't taken a rate negotiation class, I highly recommend.
I didn't even know that was a thing, except for whatever within our industry. I didn't know you could take that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't even have to be like, I don't know if there's like a rate negotiation thing specific to the voiceover industry, but
not yet.
Like
it's about negotiation, right?
Yeah, it's about negotiation, and you can apply that to
in
anything.
Your pocket, right?
Totally. Communicating.
Yeah.
And then we're all talking at the same time. We're so excited. Hey, well, leave us. So one of the things I read every day is the morning brew. I get an email, and that's one of the ways I keep up with just the world. What do you read to keep up with the world and maybe the industry? I don't know if you're reading advertising mags. Rags, as they used to call them, Variety.
Do they have magazines anymore? No, I'm kidding.
Well, online. Yeah. What are your go-tos for? What are your go-tos?
Yeah. So for everyday like world knowledge, I really like Need to Know.
Okay, cool.
It does really bite-sized pieces of what's going on in the industry. It's put on by pretty hip millennial people, so there's like memes and funny things. And
which industry? The advertising industry or the production?
This is just what do you mean?
You said
the world. Yes,
the world. Okay.
Yep. So this is just like general world knowledge. It's kind of in your inbox every morning, and it's like here are the highlights, good and bad, but what's going on in the world. But also, I subscribe to like the Promax brief. Do you guys do that? That's kind of the advertising trends, industries, about kind of everything.
But I'm writing it down.
Yeah, we are writing it down. Next.
Definitely interesting. I think it's important to keep up with Adweek and other like advertising industries, since those are the bread and butter for a lot of voiceover talent, commercial work. So yeah, I would say that those are probably like my top ones that I'm consistently seeing, and then the Times to post all of those good things for other worldly knowledge. But yeah,
well, I sadly at the end of this season we're retiring our mantra, for which is full of curse words, but I wonder if you'll honor us as we say it for the last
I'll still have the stickers.
So fuck it, let's be awesome now. We've got
it. Let's be awesome now.
Right?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, cheers, cheers. I love that.
This episode of Speechless is brought to you by
CenterCam. Helps eye to eye feel more like heart to heart.
Are you ready for better conversations, better quality conversations during video calls?
Yes, because CenterCam's middle of the screen camera makes it easy to maintain eye contact, and it also feels more natural.
Helping humans connect from a distance.
TheCenterCam.com. We both have one. Voice talent need quiet.
For us, quiet comes in the form of a StudioBricks booth.
I love my StudioBricks because it's whisper quiet in my incredibly noisy neighborhood.
And I love my booth because when clients see me on Zoom, they know I'm a pro.
Go to StudioBricks.com.
World-class sound isolation, light environmental footprint. Hey, by the way, don't forget to sign up for our newsletter. You'll get all the show takeaways plus resources and drink recipes too. Go to speechlessvo.com.
And a huge thanks to our season sponsors, CenterCam and StudioBricks, both of which we love and we use.
Guess what? Casting director Tina Marasco has given us an exclusive promo code for a discount on her amazing voiceover course called The Library. Over 2 hours of Tina's coaching, targeted videos of Tina's foundational method have done the whole thing. It's amazing. Relevant and actionable tips when self-directing, and lifetime access and alerts to video updates. You get the promo code if you sign up or are signed up already for our newsletter.
Listen, we're also giving away one of our favorite pieces of equipment called the Center Cam, and we use it every day. Wonder why I'm looking you right in the eyes. Yes, see, with Center Cam, you can do this. Okay, we're giving one away. Sign up for our newsletter, or you already signed up for our newsletter, and you'll be in the drawing this December.
We're giving away all kinds of prizes. And one more thing we want to share right now is the vocal straw. Yeah. Check it out at vocalstraw.com. Don't forget, you can only get it if you're included in our prize drawings in December. So sign up for the newsletter.
Speechless. Speechless.